What if the smartest person in the room isn't the one talking the most, but the one asking one brutal question? Here's my question for you. When was the last time you walked away from a conversation thinking, I knew they were wrong, but I still couldn't shut them down? Hold that moment in your mind, because Socrates built a system for that exact problem, and he used it to make powerful men look stupid without ever raising his voice. Today, you're going to steal it. Why you keep losing, even when you're right. Most people enter a conversation like a gladiator. They swing opinions, they throw facts, they get louder, faster, more emotional, and they think, if I just explain myself harder, I'll win. Socrates did the opposite. He almost never made statements. He rarely claimed, this is the truth. Instead, he played dumb and asked questions. And that's why he was terrifying, because when you're arguing, you're exposed. But when you're asking questions, you're covered in armor. Here's the uncomfortable rule. The one who asks the questions controls the room. The Socratic system, 5 moves to control any conversation. You don't need to memorize philosophy. You need a small set of weapons. Use these 5 moves. Move 1, the clarity strike. Question: what do you mean by that? Someone says, people today are just weak. You don't argue. You don't say, no, they're not. You look at them, calm, and ask, what do you mean by weak? Why this works: most people hide behind vague words. You force them to define their battlefield. Once they do, the holes appear. Move 2, the evidence trap. Question: how do you know that's true? They say, money always makes people selfish. You don't spit counterexamples. You don't rant about generous millionaires. You ask, how do you know that's always true? What's your proof? Now they have homework. They have to reveal their sources, their assumptions, their guesses. You just watch. Move 3, the alternative flip. Question: could there be another way to see this? They say, failing this exam means my life is over. You don't baby them. You don't say, no, everything will be fine. You ask, could there be another way to see this? Any at all? You crack open the door. You don't force them through it. They walk through themselves. That's power. Move 4, the consequence push. Question: so what? What does that mean for your life? They claim, comfort is the most important thing. You nod once. So what? What does that mean for your life if you live like that for 10 years? Silence. Now it's not an opinion. It's a future. They have to stare at it. Move 5, the silent hold. Action. Ask. Then shut up. This is where most people fail. They ask a good question, and then they panic. They rush to fill the silence. Don't. You drop the question, then you hold the silence like a blade to the throat. No fidgeting, no nervous laugh. Just calm, steady eye contact, or a relaxed gaze. Let them feel the weight of their own words. Let them rescue themselves from the silence. That's when the truth slips out. Why this scares people. Understand this: people aren't afraid of your opinions. They're afraid of their own contradictions. When you argue, you're just another noise in their head. When you question, you turn their mind against itself. They can't attack you. You're not making claims. You're not shouting. You're just removing their excuses, one answer at a time. That's why Athens killed Socrates. Not because he was violent, not because he was loud, because he made important men realize they didn't know what they were talking about. The crowd will always hate the mirror that shows them their real face. How you start using this today. Think of one person you keep clashing with. The coworker who's always absolutely sure. The friend who turns everything into drama. The family member who never admits they're wrong. Next time, don't go in with speeches. Go in with 3 things. 1 calm breath. 1 Socratic question. 1 long silence. What do you mean by that? How do you know that's true? Could there be another way to see this? So what? What does that mean for your life? Pick one. Drop it. Hold. You're not trying to humiliate them. You're forcing reality back onto the table. Stop trying to be the loudest voice in the room. Be the sharpest question. Outsmarting everyone isn't about showing off how much you know. It's about revealing how little certainty everyone else actually has. Ask, hold, watch them undo themselves. That's the Socratic way. Use it well.